Good evening, everyone. My name is Lazy, and I'm pretty tired right now. Um, it is around 10 p.m. I do want to start, slowing down and start getting ready to sleep around 11. Uh, but before then, I'm going to get this video in. And two, I am also going to get some studying in. But it has been 4 days since I made a video, and let me explain a bit. And it is related to what I'll be discussing today. And it's on the title, Focus. So after basically, I had a little streak going, just a few days where I was posting. I had a video basically every day, and I would do whatever I could think of to do. Like even if I didn't really have a solid idea, I would just record whatever. I just wanted to have consistency, just making videos. And after that, um, I sort of decided, hey, you know what? After my previous video, I decided, hey, you know what? It's the weekend. I'm gonna try to relax and chill out, You know, I decided to, not really have a, very strict, schedule, direction. I was just gonna, chill out, you know, and that's okay once in a while. And what I realized that started to happen was that I mean, because I wanted to chill out, I didn't really have a direction, right? And so stuff that, was always on the side that I always needed a motivation or discipline to do, I never really went on and did it, right? For example, I have that side project that I worked on in like one of my videos, and like that didn't happen, right, for the past 4 days. I have this online class that I was working on in my previous video, and I haven't worked on it since, right? Now, why is that? Why is that? And I'm pretty sure a lot of people can also think of times when, there are things that you need to do, or you know that, you have to do, but, you couldn't really get yourself to do it. You don't have the energy, you don't have the, wherever, you don't have the motivation, the willpower, I don't know, the discipline, right? Sometimes you start beating up yourself about it, making yourself more anxious, and you start procrastinating and all that. And this really made me reflect upon my life in my like last semester. I might have mentioned it in like maybe my first few videos that I had a really, really stressful time in my junior year in university. Right now, I'm a rising senior, so I'm in that summer right now. And I had a really, really stressful time, right? And I fell into this rabbit hole of self improvement. I was so anxious and I hated myself. I was, oh man, I was so anxious about how behind I was at life, how I was not performing at my full potential. I wasn't doing my best. I wasn't, performing the best. And, you know, not only did I just hate myself, but like now that I think about it, I was very anxious. Even when I was, stressed about doing like work, I wouldn't really have the focus to really do anything until like the day before the deadline. Maybe I would start right like a few days before, but it wouldn't be like focused work, right? And let me mention some other things as well, right? If you think about some other productivity things that you've heard about, like for example, flow state, you know, self-discipline. David Goggins, his book, I read it quite a while ago. It's called Can't Hurt Me. Um, how he, his in his story, he does a lot of stuff that he hates. He feels very uncomfortable about, but he tries to get himself to do it every day, stuff that he hates to do. And that way you get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? And, you know, I like this focus, right? Today, I was at work, all right? Today's what? Today's a Tuesday, all right? And honestly, I was just sitting on my table and all I did was really just listen to a lot of I was listening to a lot of Dr. K, Healthy Gamer GG. And one thing that I stumbled upon that really blew my mind, which really pushed me to want to make this video, is that, back when I was super stressed and I was like in this, hyperactive, like I need to self-improve, I need to get out of my current situation. I realized that, I was striving for self-discipline. I was striving for, I have to get this morning routine done. I gotta get these cold showers in. I gotta wake up early, and that when I do work, I gotta be focused. Get the work done, and then I'll have allocated time to play games, whatever. All right. I was just like hyperactive, like I need to self improve. Right. And I have footage of these moments, and I eventually will make a video on this dark age of my life. Um, and one thing that Dr. K mentioned in his video, in one of his videos, he mentioned that self-discipline, right? It's not something that you achieve, right? This is I'm citing him, okay? But he says that it is an emergent property of other things that a disciplined person does, like when you try to be disciplined or you try to strive to be self-disciplined, or when you think about it, right, you kind of think about, okay, what do they do, right? They exercise every day, whatever. And so you think, if I do that every day, right, that's how you become disciplined. Or, right, if I sleep and wake up every day in the morning, right, at the same time, that's how you become disciplined, right? I mean, in some way that's the truth, but what you're really replicating is sort of the symptom of this discipline. So what really is this source of discipline? Of course, I don't think there's a very straight, solid answer, but what Dr. K mentioned really made me think about my past. Right? He said it's the ability to put your mind on one thing. And to me, when I thought about that, it literally connected every single thing about, habits, self-improvement, working hard every day, like, and like it all connected for me. Sometimes, I don't know, to me, it made so much sense. Like, sometimes it's not that complicated. Or maybe even if it is, I mean, I don't want to overcomplicate things. And honestly, when I put it like this, when I frame like my perspective like this, it makes this so much simpler. Is that I just need to maintain a thought for a long period of time, like an hour, for example. And that ability will lead you to action, right? And there's a lot of things that can kick that thought out of your mind. There's a lot of things that could, okay, I'm going to exercise, right? I'm going to maintain that thought, right? For example. And then of course, there's other factors that will make you want to do other things. For example, your dopamine kick. Like, for example, you want to play games, right? That sort of like distraction, you could say, right, could bump in and conflict with that idea that you're trying to maintain, right? Another thing that could happen is anxiety. And that's what I also want to talk about. Anxiety, right? Um, one great example that Dr. K mentioned in his video about motivation or discipline is that, you want to go to gym, for example, and then you maintain that thought, and then you imagine yourself going to the gym. Oh, you start to feel anxious, like, okay, but I kind of suck, right? Sometimes you start like, okay, I haven't been um very consistent, so why go, right? I mean, your mind plays some crazy tricks on you to make you not go. And sometimes you're also anxious about how other people will see you at the gym, right? Being judged externally. Your mind finds a lot of different ways to try to move that focus and try to replace it with something else, so you start doing something else. And it's so easy to lose it. Because before I recorded this video, I actually watched a YouTube short. And it was just a little distraction on YouTube. You know that little suggestion for YouTube shorts, right? Like I literally had the thought I was gonna make a video, right? It was a thought that I was going to try and maintain, which is why I'm here. But that little distraction got into me and led me to click that short. All right. Luckily, I only watched that one short. I actually only watched one short. But literally thinking back to the time when I had a really bad time in junior year, right? Even though I was like, okay, I'm going to have a crazy morning routine. I'm gonna hop in a cold shower. I'm going to, force myself to accept this pain, right? I had a lot of self negative, like negative self talk. I was very harsh on myself, all right? And, you know, it can help somewhat, if you use it the right way, I think. I'm not too sure. But I mean, eventually, I wasn't able to maintain. Okay, maybe I didn't want it enough. Who knows? Some people would say that. But what I realized was, even when I sat down to do work at the time, like I wasn't able to like get in quality work. I wasn't able to get into the flow state to get stuff done. And at the end of the day, even when I was doing all these routines and whatnot, like especially the morning routine I did, I was like shower, read Bible, whatever. Okay, like I had that routine going. Like every time I sat down and started to do like homework like early, right? Like a few days before deadline, I would always be somewhat distracted, right? Or if I wasn't distracted by my phone, I was distracted by my anxiety. Like, because at the time, these were very anxious times, and my brain had so many like dark thoughts going around. Like, it was tough to focus. And so honestly, at the end of the day, I couldn't get any work done until it was like the day before it was due. And I was in this class called systems programming where, the homeworks take like they give you 2 weeks to do it. I did those things in a day. All right. Sometimes, like for one of the homeworks, I wasn't able to clutch it up. All right. My pits went green because I only drank energy drinks that entire day because I had to get that homework done. All right. Fun story. But I realized at the end of the day, I didn't have focus. I was distracted by my phone, distracted by my negative thoughts. I wasn't able to get into the flow of things. I wasn't able to maintain that one thought in my mind, which was to sit down and work and do that one thing. And I was only able to force myself to do it when it was the only thing, like it was like survival at that point, right? Or else I was gonna get an F, or it's gonna impact my grade humongously. It was only when I was back down into a corner that I was able to force myself to focus. That's what I realized. And so, bringing it all back, right? I feel like at the end of the day, I'm going to try to practice to focus. Because literally today, as I mentioned, at my internship, like I was sitting there, I wasn't really doing anything. I was listening to Dr. K. I was meditating a lot. I was thinking about life. Because honestly, past few days when I didn't really make videos, I kind of didn't really have a direction. I didn't really have a focus. Like I didn't sit down and focus doing anything because I wanted to let go of it. But this led me to a pretty cool realization was that in order to get into deep work, right? Get into that flow state to build self-discipline, right? The self-discipline is actually just simply holding that one thought, that one thing that you need to do. Just put that in your mind, and that's the only thing that you're gonna think of. Of course, how are you gonna do that? There's a lot of different ways that Dr. K does mention, but what I do plan on doing is, some breathing techniques, like taking a few deep breaths before I go in, or even in the morning, right? In the morning, take like I would. I mean, I haven't done it yet, but I think I'm gonna definitely try to do it. If I can't do it right, like right when I wake up because I gotta go to work because I woke up early, late or something like that, like I could do it at work, right? I could just sit there at my desk and just meditate for like 5 minutes and just focus, right? Yeah, but that's a little rant. Who knows? Um, I don't know how many people hear this, but I feel like this was a really important, really cool like realization that I just had. When it comes to doing anything or accomplishing like long-term goals, right? It's it's not what's in your brain is like okay, it's what's not in your brain is oh, okay, I'm gonna, try to achieve this long-term goal. Like every day, that's not what you're thinking of. Every day what you're thinking of is what you need to do in the moment. And that's okay. I'm going to the gym and that's I need to do this one task, right? Which is I need to work on my side project. And what I'm about to do right after recording this video is I need to work on this like online class, right? So I just need to put that one thing in my mind and focus, maintain it as long as I can, and try to cultivate that. And that's what I'm going to do in like 2 minutes because I need to upload this video so that at least I have a video up. But that's what I realized. I think I'll probably talk about this again, summarize it again, because this was just a rant that I decided to, sit down and start recording. But I hope this reaches someone because um, I don't know. It sounds stupid. It sounds like obvious. I don't know, but like I don't know. As a person, I who thinks a lot, who overthinks a lot, or and also someone who's I don't know. I've been reflecting on life a lot. My life right now is very very different from how it was during school. In retrospect, like this one thought about focus or realization about focus I don't know, kind of, I think it connected for me. But I mean, to be honest, I haven't practiced it yet, right? I mean, I just had this thought, but I'm about to give it a shot. Um, but honestly, when I think back to times when I, really locked in to finish anything, when I locked in to, finish that homework that was due, right? It was the one thought that was in your mind. You weren't distracted, right? Of course, there's a lot of different methods to keep yourself from keeping yourself from being distracted by your phone. But there are other things that would distract you as well, like your own brain, okay? But like, I don't know. It all clicked for me somewhat. So at the end of the day, for me, in the next, like, I would say, basically from now on, I'm going to try to focus on improving that one thing about me, is maintaining something in my brain, that idea, for as long as I can. That's it. All right. Have a good night. Have a good day whenever you see this video. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.